Okay, Miss Engratha de Iltes, no? Okay, ako ay bankira. 27 years in banking. Both state and federal regulations. Kino-question mo ang proper documentations. Ngayon, ito, kini kayo. If you are going to send money to another country, question. Magtanong muna kayo bago kayo magpadala ng pera para hindi magkaroon ng problema ang recipient. Una sa lahat, meron kami dito sa United States tinatawag na Patriot Acts under the guidelines of Federal Reserve. Okay? Kinig ka. When you send money, the person that are sending money, make sure that you know that money will be received and without problems. Bago ka magbigay ng ganong kahalagang pera, pag-aralan nyo muna. Bago tulmalbog. Dahil magpadala kayo ng pera, it's better na i-wire nyo ang pera. Ha? I-wire nyo ang pera. Kung magpadala kayo ng cheque, yes, it's questionable. You are right. If it's a large amount of money, there will be a proper documentation because you don't know how to send the money to begin with. You don't send $3,000 right in bulk. Okay. Send lower amount. $1,000 today. $1,000. Maybe 2 days later. These are proper way of doing it. Not just a bulk of amount of money and then it become a problem when the recipient trying to receive it. You have to use your brain. When sending money, make sure you know the law of the Philippines and you know the law from the US para magkatugma. Nagtuturo po ako ng federal guidelines sa mga branches ko sa bangko. Huwag mo i-excuse yan. Yung excuse na yan is weak. Because that should never happen to begin with if this has been learned and studied before sending money. Okay? Huwag mong questionin ang pagtatalbog ng cheque na yan because of proper documentation. Do you know that you can prevent that? If you know it. You should begin in investigating before sending money. If you could not, just try to get the routing number of the recipient's bank account, the routing number, so it can be directly bank-to-bank wire transfers, and that should never happen what happened to the check that you submitted. Po ba? Kaya, kung magpadala kayo ng pera, alam nyo ako'y bankir. Alam nyo, 27 years akong nasa bangko, nagmamanis sa mga bangko, nagtuturo ng mga federal regulations. Bago kayo magpadala ng pera, baka naman gusto nyo ako itanong. Tanungin nyo ko. I'm more than welcome, willing to give you an advice how to send the money. Huwag basta-basta mag-send ng money from another country without further research. Kung ano talaga ang kailangang documentation ng tao, the recipient, no? Prior to receiving that money. Kasi, pag kinu-question yung mga proper documentation, I'm more than knowing. Huwag mo sabing nagdunong-dunungan ako. Madam, Engratha de Ortiz, 27 years lang naman po ako nagmamanis, nagtuturo ng mga federal guidelines. Pink girl, pink girl, if funds sent foreign check to another country, there will be a hold. Tama si pink girl. There will be a hold, but there will never be a hold. Also, pink girl, kung ang chiki may rason bakit tumalbog, hindi proper documentation. It's not proper documentation what we saw. Kaya huwag mo sabihin proper documentation is the problem here. No. No, hindi. Hindi. We know. Okay? Pag cheque pinapadala mo, Miss Engratha de Ortiz, sabi ni Pink Girl, there will be a 30 days hold to 90 days until that fund is collected and is cleared. But it's a different story pag winire mo bank to bank, getting the routing number from the recipient. Kasi talagang yan ang totoong real true cash to cash transfer. Bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng Patriot Acts based on the US federal guidelines? Dahil doon sa money laundering, hindi proper documentation. Proper documentation, hindi po. Okay? You are wrong. May hold. Hindi proper documentation. There's just no, bottom line, there's no fun. There is no fun. Okay? There's no fun. Ang chiki hindi tatalbog kung may fun. Ngayon, ang chiki tatalbog kung walang fun. Ang chiki hindi tumatalbog kung may fun while they are investigating that money is not for laundering. Bangkira ako, yun ang tinatapos ko eh. Banking finance ako. At tinuturo ko yan lahat sa aking mga employee, mga federal guidelines dito. Kahit Canada. Huwag mong questionin ang dunong ko dito sa bangko, ha. You made a mistake. Hindi mo alam mga sinasabi ninyo. Kasi hindi nyo linya ang pagiging bangkira. Linya ko to eh. Linya ko to. Ngayon, ano ba i-question nyo? Documentation for what? Documentation? That's a lame excuse. The check will not bounce kung may fund. Ang cheque, hindi ibibigay pa rin yan. Lahat si Kuya Bal, may mga ID, may proper documentation yan. Don't reason with me. Don't tell the world that is because of the documentation. That is baloney. That's a lie. Because we from US, especially I'm from the Bank of America, and I know that. Kung ayaw nyo tumalbog ang chicken niyo, huwag kayong magbigay ng walang fun. Okay? When it comes to endorsement, the check has to be properly endorsed. And hindi ibig sabihin tumalbog dahil may fund. It will come back to the sender para siguraduhin na ang endorsement ay properly done. Pero pag ang check tumalbog dahil walang fund. Simple. Black and white. Opo, Jupas TV. 27 years, Banking and Finance, Area President po ng Bank of America for 27. Marami akong branches. Hinahawakan. Marami akong mga employees. Nag-retire ako dyan. Huwag mo i-question lang ako nagdunong-dunungan. I know what I'm talking about. So you don't know what you're talking about. Excuse me po. Huh? Make sure that before you send the money, you know the rules of the banking industry. Rules. Ano bang kailangan gawin ng recipient? Ano kailangan nila doon? Pag natanggap, tawagan mo. Oy, Kuya Bal, tawagan mo muna ang bangko mo kung anong kailangan mong gawin bago ko ibigay itong cheque na to. It takes planning. And that plan doesn't take a single day to plan it. Question it. Kung gusto mo cash na cash talaga, cash, right cash, wire transfer. Kunin mo ang routing number ni Kuya Bal sa BDO. Kunin mo ang SWIFT account number na galing dito sa US. Hindi na kailangan ibigay ang cheque na ganyan. Para kayong mga taga, nagbibigay ka ng cheque, akala nyo makakas ka agad, tapos tumalbog naman. Hindi enough excuse ang proper documentation. Because proper documentation takes only second to give it proper documentation kay Kuya Bal. He's got it all. Don't make it as a reason for it to bounce. Kakahiya kayo. Nagyabang-yabangan kayo sa inyong argument. Sorry po. Goodbye. Sinagot lang kita dyan, ha?